Hi, good morning. Going to make another video today, and today, let me adjust this. Today we're going to be talking about deja vu, the looking glass, palm reading, crystal ball, tea leaf reading, scrying bowl, scrying mirror, pendulums, runes, tarot cards, and whatever. I actually made a list because this is way too much for me to remember. I can't remember all this stuff. I know about it. I probably dabbled in it, but yeah, can't just remember. Need a list. As you see, again, I cannot, no matter what I do, get the top of this tree to light up. Colin said something really interesting to me the first time I made a video with this tree like this. He said, well, it looks like it's the pyramidal structure and the top of the pyramid's been cut off. And so I'm going to be having to agree with that. There's no such thing as coincidence. So this is funny. No matter what I do, I can't get the top of this tree lit again. So we're going to leave it like that, and we're going to let it be the statement of this reality and what we're going into, because we, the masses, will be awake, and we are going to be the ones shining bright. Thank you, Colin. That was a wonderful analogy. Okay, so let's talk about... I guess we're going to go instead. Okay, some of these are physical things, and some of these things are metaphysical things, like the remote viewing and the pendulum would be the physical. Anyway, I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the physical things. Know this, all of these things are just tools, because honestly, all of us, we have the answers within here. We are eternal beings, and we have existed forever. So we have garnered so much information through so many existences. Right now, they're severed from us, but the answers are still within us. They're within that heart space. So all these tools that you're going to use, or if you've ever dabbled in them, are using, are just a way for you to connect to those answers. Put it like this. If you were riding a bicycle, did you just jump on the bike and start riding it? And if you did, kudos to you, because you're really advanced. Most of us need training wheels. We start with, or even a tricycle, to learn how to balance. And then we put on training wheels on a bicycle, and then of course we can take them off and we can ride. Some of us can just jump on the bike and start going. Those are few. And you're really well balanced. I also know that if you are really well balanced and you can just get up and do something, it has to do with your brain being more connected than other people's. I'm going to digress for just a moment, because I think I need to say this. I have this ability where the first time I ever went water skiing, because I love water skiing, all I did was put the little skis on, held onto the little rope, and I was up and out, and I was doing all this crap right off the bat. And it's like, I had no idea I had these abilities. When I first rode a bike, I got on the bike. My father bought me a big bike, and I think I was in first grade, and it didn't have training wheels. And he's like, I'm not going to spend the money on those training wheels. He's like, you're going to learn to ride the bike. So all he did was put me on the bike. He pushed behind, and then he shoved me off, and I just started riding. I do know that if you have that balance within you and you can do these physical things, your right and left brain are so on par that it's becoming a single unit brain like it used to be at one point. So it's just your development in this reality, or where you are on the metaphysical reality. You self-repair when you come into these bodies, because they've been so manipulated that if you're on a certain level of metaphysicality, your brain kinds to self-repair, and that's why you have that balance thing where you could probably walk a tightrope and just be like... When I go walking with my niece, faith. We have curbs because I have to walk on the road a little bit before I get to where I need to go to get into the woods. And there's a curb because I don't like walking on the road. And I just jump on it and start practically running on the curb. The curb's only this wide. And she can't walk on it for 2 seconds and she's falling off. Oh, just a little funny thing. I just thought that might be a little interesting. If you have really great balance, it's got to do with your brain connecting better and the metaphysical reality repairing your brain. So you can have this balance. So if you're like really klutzy and clumsy, you gotta start pulling up that frequency. Not good. Okay, I have digressed enough. Let's start talking about this. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, I guess we'll start talking about, let's pick one. Oh, let me go get a pen. Hold on a second. I'm going to mark this off so I don't repeat myself. Yeah, I never even thought about doing that. Okay, I guess the first thing we're going to start talking about is, let's do the Scrying Bowl. Let's mark that one off. Okay, we're going to do the Scrying Bowl first. Okay, what is a Scrying Bowl? It's just any bowl with a dark bottom. It could even be a wood bowl, and you put water into it. And you do these focusing techniques within yourself and project what you want from within to the bowl. This would be something that would be incredibly difficult, I would imagine, if you did not already have certain abilities opened. And the reason I say that is there are books on this, I'm sure. I mean, I've never read them, but I know they're out there. And this is just a technique to reconnect to your heart space center where everything you know is in there. We are eternal beings. And because of that, all that knowledge is in there. We just have to tap into it. So that's the basic thing about a scrying bowl. So it's really like a focusing technique. Focus, focus, focus. Think about what you want and focus in the bowl, and it goes in to go without to go within again. It's like funny. So I won't talk too much about that. If you're really interested in scrying bowls, you can look up some information about that and see how to do that. Oh, I love this one. Let's do this one. Tea leaf reading. I had bought a book. I don't have any of my materials that I used to have because I looked into everything. I was so curious. They're still at my house because I'm still in that divorce and I haven't gotten anything out of my home. So everything I've ever had is still over there, which I may never get this stuff back. So I don't need them. It's just tools that I don't even require. But the tea leaf reading, I found it to be very fascinating because what you do is you have to have loose tea. Any loose tea will do, just a little bit. You take a cup, of course you put the tea in, you let it set, you get it stirred, let the tea leaves settle down, and then you drink the tea down to a certain point where there's almost none left. And at that point you swirl your cup and then you look and see. But before you do this, in your mind, you need to ask it a question. What's coming for me next? Or anything you want. And the answer will usually come in the tea leaf because we are creator beings. And at that point, water is a medium. And that tea is connecting with yourself. And you are actually manipulating that water with those tea leaves in there to create the answer you already hold within you. Yeah, takes the mystery right out of everything, doesn't it? So that's how that actually works. It's coming from within yourself to begin with, and you are creating the answer through the tea leaves. Don't think because you want something, oh, I want $1 million, show me $1 million. That doesn't really work that way either. It's answers that are true within yourself is what it'll actually show. It isn't going to show greed, and it isn't going to show lust. It's going to show answers that are true within yourself because it'll resonate in that water with your question, with who you are, your higher aspect of yourself. That's why when you get something sometimes, you'll be like, what? Because you down here are so disconnected from you up here that you up here is trying to come down to this level and give you answers, which is still yourself. Everything always evolves around yourself because you are the key to everything. You are the key to the lock. Anyway, that's very interesting that it works in a water medium, which is probably the best medium to be working in. So let's look at the next one. Oh, a crystal ball. Oh, I like a crystal ball. Okay. What are we doing when we look at a crystal ball? And this could be any ball. It could be glass, or it could be actually crystal. It's another focusing technique. And what it's doing is it's training you to tap into who you are within again. You're looking out here, reflecting in here, and the answers will actually come. But here's the thing. They're not going to appear in the crystal ball like smoke. No. If anything happens, it's going to be here in your mind. In your mind, you will start seeing pictures because the crystal ball is a focusing technique. If you have a real crystal, though, I will tell you this, because glass isn't quite the same as lead crystal. Lead crystal is an attuning, and what it does is it attunes, because we have crystals, magnetites, in our own brain. They give us direction north, south, east, and west, and they're also connecting us to other humanity. It's like a telecom system that you didn't even know you had. So these magnetite crystals in our mind also connect to this lead crystal, and at that point can attune, and it's like fine-tuning into your heart center. All your answers lie within here, by the way. They don't lie in here. It lies in here. And everyone thinks, oh my, how does that work? There's no brain in there. No. It's even more than a brain. It's your soul seat. That's what I can say. It's your soul's seat. So that's what crystal balls do. It's another further crystal attunement with the crystals in your mind, those magnetites. Are they called magnetites, or they're magnetic? So yeah. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Of course, a scrying mirror. A scrying mirror is the same thing, but it's a little bit different. It's when you take a mirror of any type, it could be a handheld mirror, and you black out the back of it, and it's like a black mirror. And what it is another focusing technique. And the mirror thing is a bit cool, and I'll tell you why. Because if you stare at the mirror, you are actually putting yourself into a form of trance. And the longer you look at it, the deeper you're putting yourself into that trance. So if you wanted to trance things, this is the best way to do it with this mirror in front of you. What it does is when you look at yourself and look back at yourself, you are actually looking into the soul through your eyes. And your eyes are absolutely connected to your pineal gland. And your pineal gland is going out and it's going in. So if you needed to get answers out, you could go in. Prime example, Akashic records. Akashic records are within you, but they're also without in the ether on a higher frequency. So when you're looking into a mirror, you're connecting to those Akashic records. Practice makes perfect. The more you do stuff like this, the more accomplished you'll become. And take this as a note. Whatever comes in, believe it. Believe it. A lot of things that come in, we're like, no, I can't believe myself. The biggest thing about these abilities are your self-doubt. This place wants to put self-doubt into everything you do, so you don't even believe yourself. So that's the mirror thing. And I've never really done the mirror thing. I've looked at, a lot of these that I'm talking about, I've never done the mirror. I've never done the Scrying Bowl. I've never done, what else have I never done? I've never done the crystal ball. No, I haven't. I've looked into it and see how these work because I'm constantly looking into how things work. I'll go and watch how things are done. but I haven't actually done them myself. So I'm just telling you what I've seen. And when I go look into it, of course, I'm either bilocating or remote viewing, and I'll go see how it's physically done. I guess I could be a watcher. Some of these things on this list I have done. The pendulum. I've done the pendulum, and I find that very interesting. Let me find the pendulum on here. Let's talk about the pendulum. Now, I bought a pendulum, and it had a rose crystal on one end. It had a chain and a little silver thing. I'm sure it wasn't real, on the other end, just for like a weighting system. And from me experiencing with the actual pendulum, you can either take like a map or something like this and say, I'm looking for buried treasure. And you could take your pendulum, and if there was anything, then it would go the more you focus into it. Because remember, this is all coming from within anyway. Inside of us, we know everything. We know everything about this place. We know every nuance of everything. We just are disconnected from it. So what you're doing is putting your energy into that, and then it would go to wherever. You will have to practice. Another thing with the pendulum is you can ask questions like yes or no questions. One direction would be yes, the other direction would be no. You have to mentally think about this, because remember, this is only tapping into what you already know inside of you. And believe yourself. There would be no reason you wouldn't believe yourself unless you were some kind of trickster. Or you couldn't even believe yourself. So that's the pendulum. Let's go to the next one. These are all physical things you can do. And then we'll get into the metaphysical, which would be the deja vu and the remote viewing. Okay, let's see. Let's get into these. How about the runes? Let's mark those off. The runes. I owned runes, and I found them the most fun things to play with. And I would play with them because I would never do anything real seriously with them. You can, of course, because again, these are just tools to tap into yourself. My daughter and I had gone, I think, to Barnes and Noble, and we had found runes, and I'm like, oh. And Wendy's like, Mom, let's get these runes and do them. And it's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. So I read the little book and found out what all the little symbols were, and then we were like, oh, okay, let's do the runes. And then we were asking stuff, and I would do the runes, and I thought, oh, how fascinating. I already knew the answer. I didn't need these runes to do this, but yeah, cool. Because again, it's only tapping into what you hold inside of you. Since everything here is not really what you think it is, and in every moment, in between moments, things are being broken down and recreated through our thought, because everything here is thought. When you go into the bag of runes and you're thinking, oh, what's the odds of me picking what I need to pick? It's in between where you're creating the rune. When you stick your hand into the bag, that your only thing in there is going to be the answer. And every rune, when you don't see it, is only that rune. That's a mind twister, isn't it? So say I got the rune that said arrow straight ahead, or obstacles in my way, whatever. When I'm putting my hand in that bag, the only rune in there that could be possibly picked is that rune, even if there's 24 of them, what have you. That'll twist your noodle. Crazy. Okay, enough of that. Let's go to the next one. Let me look at the next one. Tarot cards. Oh, I do tarot cards. I love tarot cards. I have this deck that I like, and I've used other decks, and it's like, nah. I'm very much to this one deck. My deck of tarot cards is over at my old house. Like I said, I don't have any of my things here, so I haven't done really tarot cards. My niece brought over some tarot cards, and they're okay. But, yeah, I don't like using them. Okay, the tarot cards are kind of the same as the runes. The breaking down of reality in every moment, in between moments, and the cards that come up are only that card. So if you were to do like a life thing over a year, you can mix up these cards, you put your energy into it. It's that in-between moment where this is why you get those certain cards, because you're creating that in that in-between moment to be that answer. That's why when I do tarot cards and somebody asks me a question, 10 ways to Sunday, I still come up with basically the same cards. funny story, I'm going to add this in. I'd never done tarot cards years ago. I was having a Halloween party, and my daughter was like, okay, let's do fun things at the Halloween party. Let's think of things to do. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I started looking up things, and I came across tarot cards, and I thought, oh, I'll dress up like a gypsy, and I'll do tarot cards. It'll be so much fun. So I went out to Barnes & Noble. I bought my tarot cards, and then I studied them for like a month so I would know what they meant. So if they came up, I would be like, oh, okay, this is what it means. I did not believe in any of these things. No, I did not. So when I first bought those tarot cards, I guess it was in 2012 is when we had that party, that big Halloween party. And I did the whole yard up. I put up artificial lighted up trees and graveyards, and I decorated, and I cooked all this food and baked all these goods, and we had all these people coming. And I set up a table toward the middle back of my yard, and I was dressed up like a gypsy. I was all excited. It's going to be so much fun. We're doing other games too. And I sat down with my tarot cards, and I had a candle on the table, and it was all cool. I had the fog machines going. Ooh, it was going to be fun. And I started having people line up and like, yeah, who wants a tarot card reading? And I started doing the tarot cards. And the whole mood started to change, because all of a sudden people were asking me things, and I was telling them exactly how it was. There was this one guy that came, and I did a scam on him, or a scheme on him for like a year, and his life and everything. And I started saying things. He's like, who told you that? That was a secret. No one knows that. And I'm like, well, I'm only reading the tarot cards. And then I began to realize that after my fifth person, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Because again, it's all within here. We know everything. We know the scripts of everyone. So he had actually won the lottery. And his wife had ended up spending most of the money. And then after it was almost all spent, and it was quite a bit of money, she ran off with another man and left him broke and broken. And this is what I was reading in the tarot cards, and this was the big secret. How did you know I won the lottery? It was $1 million plus. Cold hard cash after taxes. And he was pretty broken. And I told him, I said, he got the worst cards, the betrayal card. Anyway, I'm digressing. He got the knives in the heart. Oh, my goodness. And I told him, but there is a good outcome out of this. You learned something. You learned that the value isn't in cha-ching, cha-cha. It's in you. And you needed to find somebody who will value here, not here. Anyway, that was the tarot cards, and that was really interesting. And at that point is when I decided that if these tarot cards have this ability within myself to see this, because I never knew that these things were usable. Then I bought the pendulum, then I started getting other things like the runes, and it's like, oh, okay. I am so digressing. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, let me see. Palm reading. Well, that's an interesting one. I bought a book on palm reading, and I found it dull and boring. I don't know. I could not get into palm reading. Yes, I saw a couple of things on palms that I thought was a little interesting. Like there's this one that if you have these big X's in your palms, there's only like 3% of the populace that have it. It means that you're going to change the world in some manner. I have those X's. Hold on.